Hey, security peeps. We are live again on the Breaking Into Cybersecurity podcast series. I am Renee Small, and I am here with two amazing people. First, my co-host, Chris Foulon. Say hi to everyone, Chris.
Hey, everyone.
And the amazing and phenomenal Bernadette Carroll. Say hi to everyone, Bernadette.
Hello, everyone.
So Bernadette is here because she is the founder and CEO of the PowerUp Women's Conference. And she is the reason why I will not be at B-Sides Nova this weekend for all of you. I know Chris is like, oh my God, this is not right. So next year we have to coordinate. The reason why I won't be there is because Bernadette puts on this amazing women's conference. It's Women's History Month, as you all know. She puts on this awesome conference, and there's so much to it. It's not only just there's so many pieces to the PowerUp conference. And last year I was an attendee actually and a speaker, and I just walked away so empowered, and it really made me want to jump in and do some more and help more. Last year the cybersecurity community did a phenomenal job sponsoring teams, and we did more. We're still doing more. We still need more sponsorships. So anybody that wants to sponsor a team, I've been talking about it all week. We're going to be doing that. And then, but I wanted to bring Bernadette on so she could talk about why she started the conference. It's in its sixth year now?
Yes, 6 year.
6 years, why she started the conference and what to expect this weekend. So Bernadette, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Renee, for having me. Hello, Christopher. Thank you, guys. This is the PowerUp Women's Conference is an amazing opportunity for women to get together with each other and to just hear and learn from all the phenomenal speakers. So part of what we do at the Women's Conference is, one, we celebrate each other, right? And we inform and we educate each other. So the hot topics that we've been talking about since we were young and we continue to talk about as we get older are the hot topics that the conference covers. And it started because, I was a blogger at one point, and I would share my experiences. And folks would say, hey, Bernadette, how do you do this? How do you do that? And I would say, well, if I'm sharing, there are other women out there that are the experts in certain areas, and they have their own stories to share. So we started the PowerUp Women's Conference covering the hot topics we talk about, which are relationships, communication, our career, our entrepreneurship, and health and wellness. So those are the hot topics that we cover from year 1 to year 5. However, in year 6, we're doing something a bit different, right? So we want to get empowered and we want to get informed. But this year, we're actually covering health and wellness, the stresses of life. What are those trigger points? And how do we take care of ourselves as women? Because we know we do a lot. We have a lot on our plate. And if we're not able to get things done, everything comes to a standstill. So how do we take care of ourselves to keep everything that we have on our plate going? So we have health and wellness, and we also have technology, which is a new piece to the conversation this year. We know AI, it's big, it's moving, and there's so much out there, it could be overwhelming, right? So let's talk about it. Renee, you suggested our keynote for the afternoon to talk about technology. I'll let you introduce her.
Yes. So Renata Spinks is going to be the keynote speaking at the technology component, and she'll be speaking to the teens. And it's so exciting to have her there. As you all probably have seen on my LinkedIn post, another amazing, phenomenal woman who just won Black Engineer of the Year. She is the cyber technology officer at the Marine Corps, the first female and I believe first African American. So huge accomplishment for her, and she's so amazing, such a wonderful person. Her accomplishments are just too long to describe here, but she loves giving back to the community. She also, just so everyone knows, she also is she's a basketball player and a basketball coach. And I know she was coaching some girls teams. So she's very much into leadership and coaching and giving back to the community and working with the girls. So I'm so excited to hear her, speak to the women and then also connect with the teens. So we've been talking about the kind of conversations that she plans to have with the teens, and really bring it down to their level. You know, we want to talk to them about social media awareness. We want to talk to them about, you know, what they could be doing to keep themselves safe online, potentially cyberbullying, you know, and then obviously careers in the industry, because as you all know, a lot of these children and these teens in high schools, and I'm working more and more with young people, they have no idea what cybersecurity is. Mm-hmm. Like they know they have, well, they're not really on Facebook, but they have their social media platforms. They have TikTok. They have these different social media platforms that they're on, but don't fully understand the implications of what it means to be on social media, and how they can be on the other side creating this stuff and helping to secure it and helping to secure other young people, you know, when they're a little bit older. So we want to give them as much exposure to the cybersecurity industry as possible. So that's a little bit about what we're going to be doing.
Right. And that ties into the women's topic as well, right? Because when we talk about mental health, when we talk about finance, all that is a part of technology, right? As we build our homes, what pieces of technology do we embrace and what pieces do we need to be aware of? And then there are women that could be exposed to cybersecurity as well. It's a really great industry to be a part of.
I especially like that you're including both sides of the coin, the awareness as well as the possibilities, because oftentimes I feel that there's not enough awareness to the dangers, but then if they see the dangers, then they don't see how they can help solve that problem either. So the fact that both parts of that are there, it's amazing.
Yeah, agreed. And for adults too, you know, people, Chris, you know, you and I, we talk a lot about career changes, career transition. So every time we have this, I can't even say every week now because we've been having them multiple times a week. But every time we get on these conversations, we have so many discussions around people who are looking to transition into this industry. And there's so much that can be brought to the table. So like Bernadette is a marketer, you know, she's a seasoned marketing professional executive. She could potentially be marketing in the cybersecurity space going forward. So, you know, we try to bring everybody, all the good people we try to bring over into the space. But in any event,
I still love my job, everybody.
Yes. We can't take her away from her job. But, you know, if in the future, 5 years from now, something she wanted to transition, she could come over. And Bernadette, we tease everybody. So anybody that's not in here, we try to get them in here. So yes, we want to expose as many people as possible who could be making career transitions, who are, you know, they may be tapped out in whatever industry they're in, and then they want to move over, or they've heard of cybersecurity, or they see it on TV, but they're like, you know, it just seems like a whole bunch of code flying around. How can I take my medical degree and move into this industry? And we just I got actually pinged this week by a person who's a pathologist who said, you know, I'm a medical doctor. I love these Breaking Into Cybersecurity editions because I'm doing my certifications and wanting to break in. And I said, I cannot wait for you to break in so you can come on and talk about this to people. So that's why we do it. And Bernadette, we're happy to have you here so we can do
So what's the first step? I'm just curious, not for me. I'm just curious.
Asking for a friend. Always asking for a friend. Chris, you're the guru in that space. What's the first step?
I think the first step is figuring out which aspect of the industry that you like, doing that self-discovery, and then doing a skills assessment. What skills do you currently have that you can bring into the industry and how they relate to the industry? And then what skills do you need to get to one of those potential positions that you're looking towards? And I recommend that as always the first step.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got comments here. Vanessa Maddox says Bernadette is amazing and the conference last year was outstanding. So do you know Vanessa?
I do. Hey, Vanessa.
Yeah, she's out
Thanks
here.
for coming. Are you coming this year?
You gotta come, Vanessa. We still have spots. And then we have Alex Schindler who says awesome. Andre Edwards says kudos as always. And happy to hear from Miss Carroll on this topic. So in this topic, and there's something else he says here. Yeah. So people are, definitely engaged and want to hear more and want to learn about what we're going to be doing. So Bernadette, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say we have amazing topics, right? So what we try to do with the conference is to have something for everyone. And really, it's very fast. We move fast. We're starting out with being empowered with Winter Harris, and she's going to come and get us inspired for the morning. Then we move into career and entrepreneurship. We have Nicole Roberts Jones. She's coming in from Boston. And she's going to talk to us ladies about how do you move from paycheck to purpose, right? Or passion. So what's your passion? What's your side job? How have you been working your side job? And she's going to give us steps on how to make that passion, turn that passion into money. After Nicole, then we brought in another important topic, which is awareness of human trafficking, right? So it is a Power Women's conference, but human trafficking is also at the forefront. We don't talk to it as much. And so we have experts coming from around the country to just give us some awareness at a high level of how to protect ourselves and how to protect our girls, how to protect our women from human trafficking, both both areas, right? So whether you're in school or whether you're going to the bus stop, we just need to be aware. And then after that, we get back to, we get to learn a little bit of self-defense, right? So now that we've told you how to be aware, here's some tips on how to defend yourself. So we're trying to give everyone a little bit of something that we feel that will help them to move forward, accomplish their goals, and live their best life. And so that's the morning session. You also will have breakfast. There's also lunch. There'll be door prizes. We're going to have some fun in the afternoon. We have Danielle Brown, who's going to come and talk to us about living your best life at every stage, right? So whether you're in your 30s or your 40s or your 50s, she's going to give us some quick tips on how to be fashionable and how to embrace each stage.
And being part of or preparing for RSA, although I didn't get to go, one of the things that I liked about how they prepared the speakers to talk at that event is to give the audience a takeaway, something to do in the upcoming weeks. What are some of the proposed takeaways that you can entice the audience to come to this event to expect?
So one of the things we talk about is I give them a journal, right? And so we'll start the conference by saying, why are you here, right? Write down 3 things of why you're here. And so by doing that, the speakers will hear for themselves firsthand and will hopefully answer those questions. So whether it's in your finance, whether you're trying to save or you want to get into investments, right? We'll have that covered with our financial speaker, Mary Grade Pios. Then later on, we talk about technology. Again, I just feel like the technology piece is so instrumental in our day-to-day lives. And because we're all so busy and we don't stop to think about what's good or, things we should stay away from, Miss Spinks will be able to share insights, right? Because she's just got this award for being the top engineer, one of the top engineers in the country. She's working with AI. She will be able to tell us, hey, here's a site that you should, write down, and maybe it will help you either in your day-to-day life, like maybe it's with cooking or preparing meals. As mom, we want to know what sites we could go and get recipes from, or what sites you should have on your phone if you have kids to be able to track your kids and what they're doing, right? So we have something for everyone. So that's technology. Then we have living your purpose. So at the end, we'll wrap up with what's your purpose, and have we provided enough information to help you to reach those goals that you walked in with?
Right. So I wanted to also add about the awareness around human trafficking. And Chris, you and I both know, we all know that, that ties very closely to into the cybersecurity space, because there's so much going on from a reaching people on social media and just in the world of this. And so, we'll be tying in, and I know Renata will talk to those points as well. And then from the awareness side, on the teen side, excuse me, on the awareness side, it's awesome to have them be aware without being completely like super scared, right? Making them aware, having them aware of what's going on out there, and to be aware of what's around you and your surroundings, and then providing them with that follow-up of the person who is going to come in and show them self-defense, because the self-defense person is award-winning as well, right?
Yes.
She
yes, she's won championships around the world.
Yeah.
And she's a school teacher.
So she's a teacher who's winning world championships on self-defense, and she's going to be there telling our kids, teaching our teens and teaching our women about how to defend yourself when you're out there in the streets. So it's so much to take away. And like I said, last year I was blown away. I was just like totally empowered. And I saw the teens' eyes open up when we talked to them about cyber. I mean, and other stuff the teens want to hear about, of course. But you mix it in. You take the sugar or you take the medicine and you stick it in. You mix it in with some other stuff, the hair and makeup and other stuff that they want to talk about and they want to hear about, and their social media and all of that. And you mix it all in there so that they walk away and hopefully, they're like, oh, I remember that, these ladies came in and they worked with us. Another thing that we're going to be doing with the teens this year is a Capture the Flag event. Ooh. So that is cool. And that will be something that they can actually touch and feel. And I'm thinking about other activities for them too, so they can actually start to play and not only hear about what cybersecurity is, but actually do something. So that should be exciting as well.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, does the organization also offer opportunities for accountability and mentorship between the participants so that they can hold each other accountable for their growth and the goals that they have set for themselves, so that it's not just like write it down, listen to it now, but then someone's like holding them accountable to living their best purpose or accomplishing their dreams? Is that something that you include in as part of the package?
That's a good question and a good point. So the way we position it is for you to find your own accountability partner, right? Okay. And once you have that accountability partner, which most people do have an accountability partner by the time they leave the conference, they tend to keep up. And I said the journal that we give them has been so powerful because they write it down before they leave. And because of the sentiments that they get from the conference and the relationships, that journal becomes the centerpiece of everything they have taken away. And so they have that accountability partner's name written down and they follow up. And then I get emails saying, hey, Bernadette, thank you so much. I'm keeping up with my goals. Or either they were having questions about a certain situation and they received the answers at the conference. And then I also blog. So part of what I do before the conference was blogging. And then I will blog about my personal experiences and I'll send that out. And then the people that attended the conference, some will respond and said, hey, I'm keeping track. This is where I am in my 6th month. And I should say that a few of the women that did come to the conference early on, after the conferences, when they spoke to me, they had a certain desire or dream to do something bigger. And I have seen it. So a few has written books and a few have started their own conferences. So I feel as if coming to the conference, you do get inspired, whatever that goal is, whatever that dream is that you have in your heart. The women that come, the presenters, the speakers, you just get so pulled in to their world that you do walk away believing, hey, if they did it, I could do it. And what I've asked my speakers to do is just to give 3 simple tips, right? Let's not do a laundry list that you walk away thinking, oh my gosh, I have 100 things I'm already doing. Now this, right? So with the 3 single tips, that strategy has worked. And I have been able to see it, for myself from the women that have started their conferences and have written their books. And they're coming back this year to talk about just how uplifting and educated and informed they have been at the PowerUp Women's Conference.
Well, Cody just said, we got another comment from Cody saying, definitely putting things in writing and having the ability to follow up with another person would do well to maintain a level of accountability for goals that were set. So
Yes.
He's echoing what you're saying here. I can tell you from my experience, and I just walked away. I met some great new people that I still connect with and still, do lunch with and things like that. With Mary Great Piles, for example, as the financial expert, was able to connect with her and talk to her about business goals and things like that from a financial perspective. So not only was it because I gave a story last year and was one of the speakers on the adult side and the teen side. But it was just phenomenal for me to walk away with sitting there and hearing from all of these powerhouse speakers and what they've done in their communities and what they've done in their careers. And then also, connect with them afterwards, because a lot of the speakers are a lot are local. I know some are coming in from out of town, but a lot of local. And then it's just relatable. And they were, the types of people that you could reach out to. Very similar, honestly, to the cybersecurity community. Like we were talking about this yesterday. Was it yesterday, Chris? We were talking to someone saying that, the cybersecurity community is one of these places where you can reach out to these very high level people and they will immediately respond. Yep. And it's kind of shocking to us. Because if you think about reaching out to like a CEO of JP Morgan Chase or some other big company, you don't really expect to get a response back. But we could reach out to CEOs of some of these cyber companies and they'll respond. Chris talked about Ron Gula, him reaching out to Ron a couple years ago, and was surprised at how quickly Ron responded back to him. And then we had the pleasure of having Ron on here, last couple weeks ago? Yeah. We had Ron Gula. Yeah. And for any of you that don't know Ron is huge in the cybersecurity space. He's on the board of Cybrary. He was a COO, right, Chris?
Founder and COO, yeah.
Yeah, founder and COO of Tenable. So huge in the community. And he jumped on our podcast, and he responded to Chris when Chris asked him questions. And I feel like the parallel with this conference is there were so many of these phenomenal powerhouse women that came in and they spoke, and you're sitting there in awe. Like I said to Bernadette, I was like, I felt like a little kid. Like I was just like, wow, who are these people? And they were phenomenal. And then you could reach out to them afterwards, and then, they responded. And that made it just even to take it out of the one day on Saturday and to bring it forward. So that was my experience.
And I think that's what one of the things that has contributed to the success of the conference is that the women that we invite in, they're extremely smart, intelligent. They're the experts in their field. They're high up. But at the end of the day, they're women, they're sisters, they're mothers, they're friends. So when they tell their stories, then you feel that instant connection, right? And then it's not just the connection for the 30 or 40 minutes they're speaking. You could go out and have lunch with them, and they do continue. And the other great thing is that they return because they also are learning and are networking with other great speakers. And they'll say, Bernadette, I had such a great time. I want to come back. And then that makes my job easier for the following year when I'm looking for speakers. And it just speaks volume for myself and for the committee of the hard work we put in and just vetting the speakers. We don't do like a laundry list of questions because we know who we're looking for, right? We know the personality, and we know that if you have the personality, you have the expert, the knowledge, then when you walk in the room, everyone will be able to be in the moment with you and then take that moment away where you do write down in your journal and you do connect and then you do come back, because we have built up a nice following for the conference. So I'm excited about that. And then our returning attendees tend to bring their friends, right? And then I just want to switch really quick and talk about the teens. So we started with the teens about 3 years ago. So this is maybe the third year for the teens. And when we looked at what the women were talking about, what our conversations are, and then I looked at the young ladies, we wanted to make sure we were bringing them into the conversation. So when they tend to go down the roads of life and having those experiences, they will have these tips in their back pockets, not to make those mistakes, or to be aware of different industries. One year we did a career panel, and we brought in different experts in different careers outside of the doctors, attorneys, and lawyers that they do know about. And now with cybersecurity, that is such a hot field. And as you know, the world of technology evolves, they need to know the different areas of cybersecurity that they could get into from a young age. So from the teens, we say teens, but they're actually from age 11 to 18.
Wow. What are some of the things that you do to encourage them also to network out to other individuals once they leave the conference, to learn more about the different areas that were discussed, so that they can be more alert or informed of the topics, so that it's not just a one-day event, but it's a continuous learning experience?
For the teens or for
especially for the teens, because I mean, they're less informed than individuals that have lived many years of their life. So how do you encourage them to continue that path to explore some of these different areas that they might be interested in now, but they don't know if that's a possible career path for them in the future yet?
So one of the groups that we work with is Pearls Empowerment, which is Kim Collins' group. And with Kim's group, they meet monthly, and each month she brings in different experts to talk to the girls about different areas, whether it's career or whether it's self-esteem or confidence builder. She will bring in different speakers, and the program runs from September, for the school year, from September to June. And that's where that piece gets extended. So we look at the conference as a piece where they will come to the conference and they'll meet a wide range of people and get all that knowledge in one day. But to your point, when they go back to their groups, because we work with two groups, one group out of Baltimore and the local group here, Kim Collins, Pearls Empowerment, they will then go back to their groups and have that discussion.
I love it.
And to follow up on that, two things. Last year, we gave the girls, when I was part of the career panel, I gave the girls takeaways. So we did, not only did we just talk to them about their, careers in cyber, we also wanted them to understand what they're good at. So you know how Chris and I, we always talk about, Chris, you and I, we always talk about, okay, think about the skills that you're good at and how that can translate into various careers. So we had them do an exercise where they were able to kind of pick and choose, almost like a strengths finder. If you've ever done strengths finder, what skills, like I always said, this is hilarious. So I always say, when I was in school, I would get straight A's, good grades, but the comment, always the comment at the end, and my mom brings it up to this day, you talk too much in class. You talk too much in class, right? And what am I doing? Talking to candidates about jobs, talking here with you all, it's something that I just do and I would be doing regardless, right? Making friends, like it's just so natural. So I said to the teens last year, I said, that's the thing I got in trouble for all the time. What do you get in trouble for? Like, what is it that you do that you can't help yourself? Or what is it that you do that when nobody tells you to do it, you're in your room or you're doing whatever it is, like, what is it? Are you just reorganizing? You go to your friend's house and you just start reorganizing their rooms, like these types of things people don't think about. And that's one of the things that I try to, pour into young people and kids and teens and my own children. And I encourage everybody else, look to see like, what are their natural gifts? Like, what are the things that they're doing like one of my sons, he's so into technology and engineering, and actually Bernadette's son too. So they go to the same robotics camps and stuff like that. And then the other one, he's totally musical. Like his brother, I fought with his brother tooth and nail to take the piano lessons. The brother hated it, but he jumped in and said, "Mommy, I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to do it." And I thought he might have been too young, but he was able to sit there for the half an hour when the other brother did not want to do it. So he's musically inclined, So we asked the girls, like, really think about what is it that you're passionate about today, or what is it, because they might not even fully understand like what that means, or what is it that you do that you can't help yourself, right? And then let's tie that to various careers. Mm-hmm. And obviously there's always a space in cybersecurity. So I tied it to that. Mm-hmm. But, those are some of the takeaways. And then to add on about the Pearls Empowerment Group, that's a phenomenal group of girls. And Kim is consistently trying to get companies and experts to come in and adopt the girls. So Chris, I'm bringing you on this bandwagon to be a part of, because I'm trying to get a specific cybersecurity company
you ask
to come and adopt these girls. So there you have it with that stuff. So more people, do you have any more? I thought I saw more questions.
So that's a good point, Renee. As you were talking about your sons, I do the same thing with my little girl, right? So she's big on organizing stuff, and she's big on just doing an agenda every day or a schedule every day. So she has her day scheduled out by the second. So she knows what time she wakes up. She thinks she needs about 10 minutes to do this, then 20 minutes before she gets downstairs and making breakfast and all that good stuff. And she has it set out. So I told her, I said, well, if this is what you do, then you could develop a whole plan on how to run the house, right? So get her in mind, get her to think about running an operation. Right. So maybe one day she could be the COO, right? Running operations, going in and just doing a time schedule. So if she starts now, maybe 5 years from now, she's like, oh, I don't like it, but at least she'll have the skill set based on whatever field she's in. She could come to cybersecurity world and just start pulling things together. Right. But, I just let whatever it is whatever skill sets that I see that she's good at, I take that and then I run with it, right? So she's in public speaking, she's in Toastmasters because she wants to be a public speaker. So I said, oh, okay, so that's what you want to do? Here we go. So I think if we also share that with the parents of the kids, right, then that's also taking it to a more personal level in the home.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah. So I know we're at 32 minutes. So Chris, you want to ask your final question before we wrap?
Sure. If you had to sum up everything that you've spoke about so far into one piece of sage advice for the girls coming to this conference, what would that be?
I would say for the girls that are coming to the conference, it's going to be an eye-opener. They're going to learn. They should bring their note cards, or we'll give them journals. So I want them to take notes, because what they're learning today, this moment, they may not need it, this second. But my hope and my goal is for them to be exposed, for them to have exposure, to the different options that are out there, from career to being built up, having self-confidence to speak up. There's interview skills. So my whole goal is, as a marketer, I deal with the funnel, right? And so my job is, here are the tips you're going to need for when you go through the funnel of life. And you may not need it today, but one day you'll need it. And you'll remember that you were at the PowerUp Women's and Teens Conference on March 7th, and you learned these few tips that will help you in the years to come. So that's my desire, that's my goal, and that's what I hope. And I know we'll achieve it on Saturday.
Awesome. So to wrap, thank you again, Bernadette. Thank you, Chris. Folks, if you want to come and join us, we will be in Leesburg on Saturday morning, March 7th. and I will put the link in the notes. And then obviously we're still looking for sponsorship for the teen. So if you would love to sponsor a teen, we totally would appreciate it. This community did such an amazing job sponsoring teens last year. So we know you can do it the second time around. So sponsor a teen today. And then if you want to come and hang out with us on Saturday, please come hang out with us on Saturday. Next year, we're going to have Chris over there doing something.
Yes.
We wrote
And I want to say thank you as well. Thank you all for sponsoring the teens. We really appreciate it. The teens have a lot of fun. And like I said, it's life-changing. So thank you. And ladies, we welcome you to attend the conference on Saturday. As Renee said, we have a few tickets available. It's life-changing, and we cover the hot topics that you were talking about. So why not come and hear from the experts themselves?
All righty. That is today's episode of Breaking Into Cybersecurity Special Edition. Take care. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.